Hello there, Chris here from Breakfast Models. Today's video is all about some of the best and also some of the worst models that I've completed in the last 7 years. Now, this idea came from Michael from Hamilcar Barkus, his great channel. He did one about a month ago, just before I went on holidays, and I asked him, hey, can I do something like that for my own? He goes, yeah, go for it, Chris, go for it. So, here it is. Go grab yourself a cup of coffee, nice cup of tea, maybe something a bit stronger, as I go through my top 10 and bottom 10 kits that I've done so far. Just like the Terminator said, I have detailed files. I started back into this hobby in 2014, and ever since then I've kept a Excel spreadsheet. I might see if I can put a little video capture on my spreadsheet and also translate that to ScaleMates. I'll talk about that in a bit. I've done 125 kits. I've completed 125 kits. I've started another 50 or so in that time, and so it's a pretty big database on what I did basically was, as I finished a kit or even as I was building it and had some notes, I put in the notes, this kit's rubbish, or this kit's really good, or this doesn't fit well, or this doesn't work, or this works really well. So I was able to build up over time an idea of what kits could work. And whenever somebody asks me a question, hey Chris, have you built the Tamiya Dornier Firefall? Yep, done that, here you go, I built it in this time, this is what I thought of it. So, I'm going to distill those thoughts here today. Talking about ScaleMates. If you don't know about ScaleMates, I'll leave a link here or down there. It's an online database where you can find out about all the kits that are out there and reviews and so forth. I've got my profile there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up, I've done I think the last 30 or so kits that I've finished. I'll do all of them, 120 plus. I'll put all of them in the link below so you can actually look at all the completed kits that I've done. Always remember, whenever I do a video, I do chapters, so if you look down on the play bar there, you can click back and forth. So if you just want to click ahead right now, probably stop listening to me waffling on and go to my top 10 or bottom 5 or whatever, you can do that. All my videos have those chapters, or they're in the link as well. Okay, let's get started. The worst. Look, I've got to say up front that these kits were bad for me personally, and I had a bad experience, or more likely you could say I didn't have enough experience at the time to get them done. And you'll see a trend in these kits, which ones are good, which ones were bad, or sorry, which ones were these bad ones. So it's all subjective, but a lot of things aren't. A lot of things like fit, engineering, and just basically how things go together, you can plainly say, hey, this is not good. So let's have a look at them. And notably, I've got no finished photos for any of these. I was that ashamed of how bad they turned out. So I'm just going to put box art up. I'll try to put a box art up here on the whole screen, and I'll just quickly talk and run through my bottom 10. Here we go. The Airfix 172 Gloster Gladiator. Well, this was just not an inspiring kit. It was fiddly, it was frustrating, and supposedly it's a nice kit. The review said it was, had good details, but I just couldn't get into it. And I think this kit spelled doom for the 1/72nd scale for me. The Italeri 135 Alligator, the LVT. I've seen one of these up close in the Cairns Armour Museum, and it's impressive, but the kit was not at all. Those tracks were just the worst tracks ever. The construction was okay, typical Italeri, kind of fit, kind of didn't. The detail, a bit soft, but when you try to fit those tracks on, mine just exploded. The kit just went straight in the bin. Italeri Tiger 135th scale, the late style. Another frustrating build. This was ill-fitting kit, poor details, and just an overall really bad experience. Look, if you want to build a Tiger at 135th scale, and you want a simple build, get a Tamiya. If you want a detailed build, get a Revell models. Simple. Revell 172 Beaufighter. A really interesting plane, a very uninteresting kit. This is another mistake. I just couldn't get my head around all the gaps, the construction, the poor details. It was just no fun at all. Maybe I'll try a 148 Tamiya next time. Airfix 172 Arado 196 Seaplane. What a dog. This kit was almost as bad, and I haven't even put it in here. I just remembered it. Their 172 Corsair, that beautiful box art, and I love the Airfix box art, but oh my god. Let's just not talk about that one again. The Hobby Boss 135th scale Leopard 2A4. This is a very promising kit of my favourite modern tank, but the tracks just let it down. The turret doesn't turn unless you modify the rear deck. The rear plate fits really poor. The barrel is, just avoid it. Just get the main kit. Italeri 148 scale F86E Sabre. one of my favourite jets of all time, but what a letdown. Again, Italeri really dropped the ball on this kit. I just chose the wrong kit. Poor fit, poor details, decals, oh, just everything. Frustrating. Avoid. Tamiya 148 scale M4 A3 Sherman. Here's a surprise. Yes, there's a Tamiya kit I don't like. This one just did not talk to me. I thought I was on a winner, but it's just too simple a kit. The fit between the lower metal hull and the upper plastic one is a bit okay, not really. The tracks didn't fit. I couldn't get there. There was a gap in the tracks. This thing just fought me every step of the way. Now, I've had really good experience with 148 Tamiya armor since, but yeah, just be forewarned with that one. Not a good one. Hobby Boss 148 YF23, the so-called Black Widow. I built this alongside Academy's F22, and I was expecting a real fun sort of dynamic sort of, oh, this is going to be really cool, this aircraft. But this is an overpriced, under-engineered kit that really has no business being out in the marketplace. It's just not good enough. It's okay, but it's got so much potential, but it just leaves you cold. Just avoid it. Just forget about it. Last one. Trumpeter's 148 scale to Havilland Hornet. I think it was an F1, F3. I can't remember which boxing it was. I actually built this late last year, and I was really looking forward to it, although I should have been forewarned. I built their Westland Whirlwind, and I think it was made by the same B team or C team. My favourite World War II fighter. It's like a Mosquito, but it's had a diet, and it's looking leaner and faster and meaner. And oh my God, this was just such a disappointment. It was just a boring build. The fit was okay. The cockpit was, I put a pilot in, and it was, the details, it just didn't excite. It was just one of those ones. It was just such a letdown. And I think that's a worse kit than putting together some rubbish Airfix thing from 30 years ago. So yeah, avoid that one. So with that trip down dung-hole lane, let's forget about the worst. Let's look at the best. Now, forgive me if I wax lyrically about these kits, and if you've skipped ahead here, you might want to skip ahead even further. But the reason why I chose these in my top 10. And there are other ones that have missed out the top 10. In fact, I was thinking about just making a top 5, but I couldn't do it. Couldn't put them all in. And you can see here already, barring one or two, I've got duplicates of all of them. I love them so much, I went out and bought another one. And over the years, I've collected a few more and several boxing and variants of them. And that I think speaks volumes. Because like I said, I've built over 120 plus kits in the last 7 years, and I've rarely done 2 kits in a row. I think I've done a couple of P47, Tamiya P47s, and of course Millennium Falcons, but we'll get into that. Let's just go run through the list. First one off the list, Revell's Type 7 U-boat, 1/144 scale. What a fantastic kit. I'll leave a link up here. I did a paint and weathering video on this one, and it's proven very popular. I used the hairspray technique. I'll put some photos up here for you now to have a look at. I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of this build, and it's one of the most sinister looking subs out there. Look, I reckon you can get bogged down trying to super detail a kit, especially in that scale. It's quite difficult. And in fact, I've got a 172 Type 9 to do, but I've got another one of these because I know how easy it is to put together, and I really want to do a underwater or going through the water display with the next one. Go and get one. Great kit. My second one is the AFE Club 148 scale Tiger 1 Early. I'll put a link up here. I did a video using that kit to show you how I weather and paint tanks. Now, the only reason I don't have another one of it is it's so rare to get these days. They're hard to come by. They're rare as rocking horse poo, as we say. If you do find one, go grab it. It's a better kit than the Tamiya 148 Tiger. It's a great kit for beginners and experienced modelers alike. It's got great details, it fits fantastic, and it's really confidence inspiring. Great kit, loved it. Tamiya's 148 scale Dornier. I was really impressed that they did this late war, very rare aircraft. It ended up being the fastest piston-powered aircraft of the war, and I thoroughly enjoyed this kit. You'll hear me say that a lot with this top 10. I'll put some photos up and we'll have a look at it quickly. This was such a fun kit to build, being Tamiya 148 scale, and really easy to modify to wheels up, which was a surprise because that's how I like to do it. And I thought I did a pretty fair job painting and weathering. The base, not so much. I'll try next time. I've got another one here, and this one I'm going to do wheels down. I'm going to stretch my detail skills. I've got a resin engine for it and a few other photo etch parts. And yeah, it's such a weird looking plane, but really fun kit to build. Who doesn't love Porco Rosso? If you haven't seen the movie, go watch it. It's one of my all-time favourite movies. And after I watched it about a dozen times, especially with the kids, I thought, I wonder if there's any kits. And oh, yes, there is. Oh my God. The kits available for this are fantastic. I've built this one, and I've got 2 more in the stash. There's only one of them. And yeah, I'll put some photos up. They're not the best photos in the world, but I'll put some photos up and let's have a quick look at it. There's Fine Molds make both a 1/72 and 1/48 scale versions of this particular aircraft. Now, I've heard the 172 is a little bit fiddly. The fit wasn't the best, but the 1/48, beautiful. Better than, it's as good as a Wingnut Wings kit in my opinion. In fact, it was so good I was able to use magnets, and I separated the lower hull and the upper hull because it's got a full interior. It's an amazing kit of a fictional aircraft, although it is based on some real Schneider Cup trophy entries. I can't wait to get onto this. One of these is going to be one of my 2021 Halo builds, and if you find these, go grab one. It's a fantastic kit. Meng's 1/35 scale Char 2C or FCM 2C. This was an interwar tank that the French used. They only made 10 of them, I believe, and I built this a while back, and I'll put a link up there. I did a 4-part series, I think, on that one, and what a canvas! Look at that. Okay. Back then I wasn't too au fait with doing camouflage, so I just did a basic one of the other schemes, just a single colour. But I've got a second one, and I'm going to build it again, and I'm going to do something like this. And yeah, this was a revelation, because Meng armour, in my opinion, is a combination of simplicity and ease and fit and engineering of Tamiya, but the detail of a Dragon kit. Loved it. Alright, time for my top 5. Here we go. If you notice a trend with my bottom 5, certain manufacturers popped up quite a bit. You'll notice a trend with the top 5, and you know the stars I've got here on my shirt. Yes, I am that big of a fanboy of Tamiya. Let's get stuck into it. The first one, Tamiya's Mark IV male World War I tank. Oh my dog below, what a revelation. The engineering on this kit is superb. It's fantastic. Yes, it's a bit gimmicky. It's got a motor in it that allows you to run it across the floor to scare the bejesus out of your cat, but this kit was just so much fun. The tracks literally click together. The tracks take 12 minutes. I recorded it to put together. The sponsons and all the sub-assemblies can be built and painted separately. It's amazing, beautiful kit. I'll put some photos up of mine, the one I did. I stole a few parts from another Meng kit, the Mark V. But yeah, I really enjoyed building this kit. I bought another one, and then just the other day, one was up on eBay for a ridiculous price, because they are very expensive, and it's a real shame that, you know, that they put the motor in. If they chuck the motor out, make it simple, they could cut the price down. Anyway, this guy put it up for half price. Okay, bought it. So I've got 2 more. Yay! So I'll do one as a captured German, I think, and I might try again to try to do this paint scheme. Try to do another job. Love this kit. Go get one. Even if it's expensive, go get one. Tamiya's 1/48 Grumman F-14A Tomcat. The best jet fighter of all time, in my opinion. And the sexiest looking. Wonder if there's a correlation there. When this first came out, a lot of people said it was the second coming of Jesus. It was just such an amazing kit, and it is. There are a couple of little drawbacks to it. The wing surfaces don't move, okay? So you can't do slats and flaps and so forth. Cockpit detail's good, but it's satisfactory. But apart from that, this is the best F-14 kit ever made. They followed it up with a D, and I've got both. I've got another A, another D. The one I did, I'll put some pictures up here. I did the VX4 Black Bunny, the politically incorrect Playboy Bunny one. I love doing this kit, and it was so much fun. It was easy to modify the wheels up too. I will do some wheels down versions, even though, because the F-14, in my opinion, is one of those aircraft looks fantastic, just sitting there. Just, oh my God, look at it. Such a shame that they retired it. Anyway, love this kit. It's getting a bit expensive now, especially here in Australia. It's, you know, well over $100, but yeah, loved it. Go get one. Bandai's 1/144 scale Millennium Falcon. Wow. I'll put a link up. I did a full build, and it was my first time I ever did LEDs. I'll put a link up here, and I'll put some photos up of the build. Now, this is arguably the best fitting kit I've ever made, of those 120 plus kits. If there's a problem with that kit, it's you. And it really puts the nail in the coffin. You know, those some modelers say, oh, you're just an assembler, you're not a modeler. Yeah, you assemble this kit. The modeling is not involved in putting it together. The modeling is in the painting and weathering, trying to get it accurate to the screen versions. I have built 3 of these now. As soon as I build one, whoosh, off it goes to either the kids, relatives, friends of mine. Oh, can I have that, Chris? Here you go, okay? And I've got another 2 to go as well, one of which is not quite, it's not a Millennium Falcon, it's a different one, and the other one is the Solo one from the Solo movie, Lando's version. I don't think this kit can be bettered until you get into the 1/72nd scale perfect grade version. It is that good of a kit, and even if you're not a massive Star Wars fan, if you want to see how kits should be engineered, should fit together, and the detail of 1/144 scale, it's got better detail than some 1/32 scale aircraft kits out there. Amazing. My second top kit is Bandai's 1/48 scale X-Wing. And the only reason I don't have a duplicate of that sitting in my stash is, oh my god, is that kit expensive. And the reason it's expensive is because it's got moving parts. Okay, I'll put some photos up here of mine that I finished, and let's have a quick talk about it. Yeah, this was, again, another revelation kit. Another one of those, oh my god, why don't everybody do it this way? And you can tell why they don't do it this way, because it's so expensive, so complex. Bandai should re-release this kit, I reckon. They should just ditch the moving parts and the electronics and the LEDs and the big stand and everything, and just do like they do the 172, because I think this would sell like hotcakes. It's an amazing kit. Again, it's an assembly kit. You can literally, because if you're familiar with an X-Wing that's got multiple coloured parts within, you can paint, weather, and then assemble the entire kit and you're finished. That's how good it is. Yeah, it was just fantastic. We come now to my number 1 kit. Yes, it's Tamiya. Are you surprised? It's 1/32nd scale Supermarine Spitfire Mark 8. I'll put pictures up and let's talk about what I think is, so far, the best kit that I've ever come across. This is Tamiya's superlative Spitfire kit. They made 3 of these in the range, and it's a near perfect model kit. Yes, there is 1 or 2 minor flaws in it, the first one being the engine cowling. But the thing is, because it's so complex, and this is what people don't realise with these larger scale 132 Spitfires and Corsairs and Mustangs and Mosquito, it's not an assembly type kit. It is complex. The fit and engineering is amazing. Your jaw drops when you realise what they're getting up to with the complexity in the kit. But if you don't get the fit just right, if you don't align everything properly, if you don't make sure the kit is built to precise, specs, it's your fault and things will be out of alignment. Now, Zukimura are more guilty of this than anybody else. Tamiya, they're a bit more forgiving. But that's the only fault with the kit. The engine cowling on the outside, which are paper thin, I don't know how they make them, and they can come on and off with magnets. If you don't get the Merlin engine, which is a model kit in of itself, you don't get that just right, you'll have a small step. And apart from that, it's perfect. It's not perfect. It's 98% perfect. It's amazing. I built this back in 2017, so 4 years ago, as part of a 60-day group build effort thing online on a forum on Scale Model Critique Group. And I thought, there's no way I can get this done in 60 days. It was only my second 132 aircraft, and it just blew me away. And apart from, I think I changed the pilot head out with another head, I didn't do anything to the kit. It's bog standard, and it's still my favourite kit. It's still up I think it's on that side, in my display cabinet to this day. I will never get rid of it, and I just loved every minute of building this kit. I was able to paint it using Alclads. Now I'd use MRP or something similar, and I did a separate video. I'll put a link up there on how I had to experiment with different Alclad finishes to get that sort of finish. There's no decals on the kit, and because I made a RAAF training version, which is just got stripped paint and basic markings on it, and yeah, it was just fantastic. Now I've got 2 of these extra in the stash, one of which I'm just going to build again out of the box just for fun, but the other one I'm going to convert to my favourite Spitfire of all time, the Mark 12, which it was based on the Mark 8. And the reason I'm using that kit, because you're supposed to use for the conversion, you're supposed to use a Revell or some other type of large scale Spitfire, is this kit is so confidence inspiring, so enjoyable, so thoroughly mojo restoring, that I feel really confident that I can go full on in with the resin conversion, cut the nose off, all these parts and so forth, that it just gives me that confidence. And that's what I love about Tamiya and the way that they approach the hobby. So yeah, best kit that I've ever made. Well, there it is, a fun look down memory lane, some bad kits, some amazing kits, some superlative kits like the Spitfire here. Now I think in the next few years, some of them on my top 10 are going to be surpassed, they're going to be supplanted and pushed aside. I think the Tamiya's Corsair is going to replace one of the Spitfires perhaps, and the 172 perfect grade Falcon from Bandai is going to replace the 1/144. Now I'd really like to hear from you. What are some of your top 5 kits? leave a comment below. I'd really like to hear your ideas, and maybe you can tell me I'm wrong about some of my bottom 5. I had no problem with that kit, it went together like a glove. Hey, good for you, but for me, it didn't. So anyway, that's all part of the hobby. That's what we love about doing this. Thanks very much for watching and coming through to the end here. If you like what you saw, leave a like. And if you want to see some more videos, you know what to do. Hit that little bell thingy. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.